So in this trip of Kodai, I had the pleasure of being with the second batch of MBA, and I was the junior most over there. That granted me some kind of a diplomatic immunity. I could do any prank and get away with it because all the brothers were my seniors by a large margin. So what had happened, I had got into the routine of Kodai Canal, and I felt there were, discourses and people ceremonizing, and I felt there was scope for some fun. So what I did, whenever people would sit down in the morning sessions or in the evening sessions, I would creep behind one of my brothers, and I would think that he has not had a chance to speak in front of Swami. It was my holy duty to grant him that chance. You see, what would happen is, Swami would look at the boys and say, "Any boys?" And at once, like an ever-ready battery, some boys would get up and deliver a wonderful, eloquent talk. And I decided that I saw there were some boys who were not having the pleasure of talking. And it was my duty to ensure that they talk in front of Swami. So when Swami would look in the boys' direction and say, "Any boys?" I would pinch that boy. And he would startle. And Swami would look at him, "You, Nivura, come, give a talk." And that poor boy never knew he was going to give a talk till a second ago. He would get up, and most of his talk was done in silence, standing next to Swami. Haltingly, he would mutter a few words and sit down, and I would enjoy it. It was my way of entertaining myself in Kodai. After I had scalped a few victims, on this fateful evening, when Swami looked in my direction and said, "Any boy," and I was moving forward to pinch my chosen blessed brother, he ducked down. And Swami saw my face. "You, see, youngest boy of our students, he is going to give a talk." I was not at all ready. As I got up, I was aware of the fact that this is the law of karma, but I never knew karma could be that instant. As I walked up to Swami, I said my salutary gestures, and there afterwards, absolutely silent. I couldn't think. My throat was choked with emotions. My eyes were crying. I couldn't think of anything, let alone speak. And then I looked at Swami. About a minute or two later, and Swami made a small gesture which the others couldn't see, the VIPs couldn't see, but just one of my brothers in the front row could see. Just did like that. And that boy understood. He picked up a book lying next to him and opened it. Now in Kodai, we all sat very close to Swami. We were almost touching Swami. So that book was very close by. And then I understood, not only Swami, but Professor Kasturi came to my rescue. And I started reading the page that my brother opened. Bharat, the acknowledged birthplace of spirituality, is in doldrums, and it is lying in a vortex of vices, and so on. The eloquent talk of Kasturi ji carried on. Carried on for about 2 paragraphs, and Swami patted me and said, "Sit down." And I sat down, very happily. Then Swami asked the VIPs, "Chinna boy, how did he talk?" Everybody said, "Swami, wonderfully. He sat in your divine presence, he stood in your presence, and then he cleared his mind. And when all the thoughts had sedimentated, all his beautiful teachings of Swami gravitated upwards, and in that crystal clear mind, he gave such a wonderful talk, Swami." And Swami was happy, and I had learnt my lesson. Probably because of that, I am comfortable talking with you today. Now, those same 2 boys who were seated over there, I'd grown a little close to them. I used to call them the Bengal Tigers because they hailed from there. And I decided that we could still do some mischief, but this time it wouldn't be physically, no act of pinching. It would be more refined. It had to be in a manner that nobody could figure out. So what we did, there was one very innocent boy. He was an elder brother, but very innocent, full of virtues. He used to meditate. So we went up to him and we said, "You know, you are like the Vidura." And he said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, you must ask questions to Swami which are very wise." So I said, "Wonderful. What kind of questions?" So we taught him something. Little did I know that he would place the question to Swami exactly the same way as I told it to him. He didn't change it at all, and it came out somewhat like this. "Swami, if I murder a person, why should I be hanged? It is in his karma to die. It is in my karma to kill him." Swami didn't even look at him. He didn't answer him. Swami looked directly towards me and he said, "You boys love football. I will tell you in the language of football." And he drew an analogy. Those 2 were from Bengal, so they were naturally very passionate about football. And then Swami said, "Karma is like a game of football. The rules are fixed. The perimeter of the ground is fixed. You know you cannot play with your hands. You can only play with your feet. Likewise, the era in which you are born, the family in which you are born, the karmas of the family, your work environment, all of these form your play field, and the rules therein are the rules you have to play by. What is fixed in karma? Your family is fixed. So in the same way, in a game of football, it is fixed who is your team. You will play along with these people. Other part is also fixed. You will play against those people. That's your work environment, your bosses, everything, all the challenges that you meet in life. They may be very good players. But what Swami said, mind you, how you play the game is never fixed. It is up to you how you play. Do you sit outside and clap? Or do you just take a very narrow area and say, "I'm the goalkeeper"? Or do you go dashing forward, play with all your endeavor and score a goal? That is never ever fixed. And then Swami said, at any given point of time, there are multiple parallel destinies. And the difference between that is the difference between a prince and a pauper.